Good afternoon. This is Larry Levinson, and welcome back for another session of Marketing Boot Camp. Today we're going to look at who's visiting our website. That is, how can we capture the names and preferably the email addresses of people that are visiting our site. We looked last week briefly at this schematic, and a prospect comes to our website, sees the call to action, clicks on that, goes to their landing page, and fills out their form with their first name, last name, and email address, and then becomes a lead. So let's dig into the call to action segment of that and see how that works. Here's some examples of calls to action. Sign up for our Living Well blog. A real simple call to action. Put in your email address, click sign up, and you can tell actually just what you're going to be getting with this call to action. You'll be getting inspiring, actionable articles on living well and retirement. Pretty nice. So below that, there's another call to action, investing made personal, whole different look to it, with a single button that you click to schedule your consultation. But you know right away when you click exactly what you're getting into. Nicely done. This third one, the right advisor for your retirement, is a little more interesting. Complete this form to download the guide to choosing the right advisor for your retirement. And it asks for 4 different things: your email, your first name, your last name, and your phone number. And when we go to the website, we actually see some other things happening there. Give me a minute while this loads up. So here's the website where we see first at the top of the right column, a separate call to action to schedule a complimentary 60-minute office consultation. And then by the time we're done reading that, this pop-up shows up. This is the one you just saw on the other slide. So we're not going to use this pop-up right now. I want to look at the 5 steps to retirement. Click here to download. So these 2 calls to action here on the web page are pretty typical of most calls to action. A lot of times we are seeing pop-ups now. That's kind of a more advanced feature, and if you want to do that on your website, it's fine. They work really well. But let's stick with these for right now. So if we click here to download, we don't really download anything. What happens is, come on, internet. We go to this landing page where you can learn about the benefits of getting this offer, this ebook they've put together. And in case you're wondering, the ebook doesn't look like that. That looks like a real book. The ebook is about 8 pages, and it's just a simple PDF. They made it look this way to make it look more enticing. The only thing I don't like about this landing page is there's no form on it. So we have to click again to get to the form, which is kind of silly, but that's what they've done this time. So those are some examples of calls to action. But what if you don't have a website or can't get access to your corporate website? There's other ways you can make this happen. You can use email. You can add a call to action in your email that sends people directly to your landing page on a third-party platform like Unbounce, Lead Pages, or Wix. And you can Google for more information, for example, on Wix by Googling Wix landing page templates. So let's take a little more of a look at landing pages. Remember, you're going to click on an action, go to a landing page, read the benefits of getting this thing, and then fill out a form and get it. So what is a landing page anyway? A landing page is simply a web page that allows you to capture a visitor's information through a lead form. It's where the visitor lands after clicking on a call to action, a pay-per-click link, or a shortened URL. And landing pages typically answer these 4 questions. First, what exactly is being offered? Secondly, what are the benefits to me of that offer? Third, why do I need to get the offer now? And fourth, how do I get it? Make it easy for me to get it. Tell me what's going to happen next. So we just looked at an example landing page. I'm not going to go back and do that again. But here are some highlights of a landing page that's really well done. First, you'll see an enticing headline. And then going down the left side, the benefit that I'm going to get. I'm going to find out that something's 6 times more likely to buy than an average website visitor. And then using bullets, there's some more benefits in the smaller print. Then on the right, you'll see an image of the item that I'm going to get. And here's the form. And this form is asking for my first name, last name, email, and company. And then there's something very interesting here. I circled it in orange. Subscribe to our newsletter. This is something extra that you don't see on a lot of forms, but it's really effective where it's used. And this box to subscribe to our newsletter is pre-checked. So if I'm coming here as a visitor, I have to uncheck that box if I don't want the newsletter. So this is a very effective way to get new newsletter subscribers or whatever it is you're offering to send people, whether it's a newsletter or a weekly report or a monthly report or whatever. It's a great way to get new subscribers. And mostly you'll find people will leave it checked. Then we click the download now button and off we go. Here's another example of a landing page. Really, really very simple, but it has the same core components. Here's a headline, a benefit. I'm going to see how much money I can make. That's certainly a benefit. And apply now. And I can apply with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 simple form entries. And I can, quote, become a driver. Because I click that button, it says become a driver. So this is a pretty enticing landing page. And as you can see, it's extremely simple. Here's another example of a landing page. This one's a little more complex, and I've added some notations on the right. But you'll see this one has their logo at the top. Then it has a headline that describes what I'm going to get. It's got several different text items here for benefits. And since this is a webinar, here are the event details. And then I fill out the webinar registration and I click submit. So over here on the right column, I've listed all the best practices that are showcased here. And I'll leave that for your further study. I'm not going to read through all of them. But this is a great demonstration of best practices. And if you want to see this website live, or this landing page live rather, just go to this link at info.dwf360.com and you can see it live. It's a lot easier to read there. So putting this all together, we have a stranger coming to your website and they have a problem or a question. Sorry, they're not coming to the website yet. We have a stranger with a problem or a question. They perform a Google search to find an answer, and they find that you have the answer available on your website. And not only that, but you're located right in their community. So this looks pretty enticing. So the stranger reviews your offer and determines it likely has the exact answer she needs. So she clicks the CTA and then submits the form, providing her name and email address, and is given a link to download the information. A thank you note with the link is also usually sent. Now you have a new prospect you can talk to, and you've had the opportunity to showcase your understanding of her needs and your expert solution. This is really the beginning of a profitable relationship. The nice thing about landing pages is they work 24 hours a day. They never take a vacation. They don't charge you money, like you don't have to pay an employee, and they can be used for years. We have a landing page that we used in the agency that used to produce really ridiculously high results. It worked 6 months out of the year, and we used it for 5 years in a row and never had to redo it. It just worked. And in the months when it wasn't timely, it just sat there and didn't bother anybody. This is an interesting statistic. Companies with 30+ landing pages generate 7 times more leads than those with 1 to 5 landing pages. So does that mean you should go out and create 30 landing pages right now? Well, that would be great, but that's a lot of work. So let's start simple. Build 1 landing page. And you might want to, after you've got that one up, you might want to build another slightly different landing page for the same offer and see which one performs better for you. But over time, if you keep adding landing pages with new offers, of course, but if you keep adding landing pages, you're going to get more and more leads out of your website or out of wherever you're parking your landing pages. Here's another tip. If you add videos to your landing pages, that can increase conversions by up to 86%. So video is extremely effective here. Could be a video of you looking into your web camera talking about the ebook that they're about to download. Or it could be of a client or someone else, if you don't want to be on screen, talking about the ebook or whatever you're about to download. But even a very, very short, simple video can be very effective in increasing conversions. So how do you attract people to your landing pages? Well, you can use any of the techniques that we talked about last week, but the three I like the best for this are email, social media, and pay-per-click. So these are all great starting points for attracting people to your landing pages. Email, that's pretty obvious. You send an email out, you give some of the benefits of whatever it is you're offering. They like it, they click, they go to the landing page, fill out the form, and boom, they got what they wanted. Social media works in a similar way. You have obviously less text to work with, but social media and email together are a great way to drive traffic to the landing page. The other one is pay-per-click, and this one will take a little experimentation to get it right for your specific audience. But if you were to go, for example, onto Facebook and spend $20 on a pay-per-click campaign, very highly targeted to exactly the kind of people you want as new clients, that would give you a lot of good information about the people you can reach on Facebook and what kind of conversion rates you get. So those are three sources for attracting people to your landing pages that don't depend on having a full website to do it. This method of internet marketing that we're talking about, we reviewed this last week, but we're expanding it now. We've got strangers that are attracted to your website. They turn into visitors, come to your website, and then they convert by giving up their name and email address and become a lead. So that's how far we've gotten so far in this new process. A few hot tips I'll share with you. Include social media sharing buttons on your landing pages. We did not see that on any of the landing pages we looked at a few minutes ago. These social media sharing buttons encourage visitors to spread the word about your offers. So again, these are not connect to my social media thing. So it's not go to my Facebook and like me. It's not connect with me on LinkedIn. These are for them to share that page with their audience. Share your landing pages on social media often and ongoingly. How often? Well, it depends on the platform. If you're using Twitter, you could share it several times a day because that's a very, very fast-moving medium. If you're using Facebook, I wouldn't do it more than 2 or 3 times a week, probably 2. If you're using LinkedIn, I'd probably go to once a week or once every other week. That's a much, much slower medium. Unless you're using LinkedIn groups, which is a whole different scenario. And we'll talk about social media in a couple weeks. The other tip is to be sure to follow up with a well-timed and closely targeted lead nurturing campaign to engage with these newly converted leads. So that's typically through email, where if they liked this item and downloaded it, you can email them and say thank you. You can email them a few days later and say, hey, we found this other thing that we think you'll like, or ask them some questions and get them to respond that way. But it's another great tool for starting to build more trust relationship with those prospects and turn them into valuable customers. Couldn't resist this comic. What fits your busy schedule better? Doing marketing for an hour a day or having no business growth for years? That pretty much sums it up, I think. So your homework for this week is to develop an offer that answers one of the questions that you came up with last week, one of the top 10 questions that you always get asked. And this offer can be text, slides, video. It could be a report that your company already has available. It could be something released by your broker-dealer. It could be a checklist of the 10 most frequently asked questions with short answers. So if you don't have any of the above things already available, take those 10 questions, write 2 to 4 sentences for each answer, put that into a PDF, and that's your first offer. That'd be your frequently asked questions. So I'm really stressing here, use existing content. Don't try to reinvent the wheel here. This is not about you becoming a Pulitzer Prize winning writer. This is about being smart and using what you've already got and making it available to an audience of prospects. The second thing to do this week is to create a call to action and a landing page. Again, keep it simple. Use the name of the offer, some benefits, an image, and a form. That's your landing page. Don't get carried away. If you can't access your website, use Unbounce or Lead Pages or Wix for your landing pages. And finally, I've got some resources for you about calls to action and about landing pages. I recommend all of them. The HubSpot ones are a little more in depth than some of the others, a little meatier. But one that I particularly like is how to get 60 leads in 24 hours with a landing page and a LinkedIn group. That's something we're going to discuss in a couple weeks, but I'm giving it to you now because it's apropos. If you don't have a landing page in 2 weeks, it's really going to be hard to do this. So get your landing page, get your offer together, get your call to action, your landing page built this week, and you'll be ready for email marketing next week. Again, I have office hours. Feel free to click this link and book a conversation with me. Happy to talk with you about your individual situation, needs, bounce around ideas, help you come up with some thoughts on landing pages, whatever would be helpful. I'm available. Just schedule an appointment and we'll make it happen. So next week, we're going to look at email marketing best practices and explore both email blasts and email campaigns, and how to turn your leads into highly qualified leads that really want to talk to you and are ready to work with you. So that's it for this week. I'll see you next week with email marketing. Have a great week and feel free to schedule a time with me if you want to talk. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.